Everybody, Bradley here from Majik Media. So the other day I was being interviewed by somebody and she asked me, what is the one thing that I wish every client who comes to me would do to help them become more successful faster? And the answer I had was to create a business plan. Not like a massive 48-page business plan, which I've done and it's painful, just like a 2-page business plan. And the reason for this is the business plan is your path to success. And in this video, I'm gonna guide you through a very simple business planning strategy that could take you a couple hours. It'll be really fun and it'll actually be like therapy for you, because instead of just kind of floundering around, not really knowing where you're trying to go, you have a very good idea of what you're doing, what products you're selling, what your prices are, what you need to make in order to just get by, and what you ideally wanna be making, and then create a path on actually how to get to that outcome. So come on over to the whiteboard and let's get started. So the first thing we're gonna be designing is actually not even the business strategy, it's your lifestyle strategy. Because if you're gonna be the boss of your business, why would you design something you don't love? Why not take the time to think about what you want your lifestyle to be like? Because I know so many of us have been trained to think that we have to work 40, 50, 60 hours. And I've definitely done my share of 16 plus hour days with this business. But lifestyle comes first. That's why I've crafted a lifestyle that allows me to play golf every day and compete professionally and spend tons of time with my son and my wife and our friends and be able to go hiking during the middle of the day if I want to. And it's the lifestyle. I mean, this has been 15 years in the making for me to get to the point where on average I work 6 hours a day instead of 8 to 10. And of course, if I'm doing sprints for a launch, then I'll put in more hours as needed. But my typical lifestyle is very balanced and enjoyable. And it's all been by design. I strategized that a long time ago. So if you don't have a written vision for your lifestyle, start writing that, what you want your day-to-day to be like, what you want your hours of operation to be, because you get to choose that ultimately. You don't have to do 9 to 5 like every other company out there. You are the one who's in charge of your business, which is the beautiful thing about entrepreneurship, is we are literally the gods of this little universe that we're creating here. We get to set the prices and the hours and how we do it and what the company policies and personality are gonna be like. We get to design all of that. So start with your lifestyle. Don't build a business that runs you. Instead, design your lifestyle and create a business that supports that. That's step one in this process. So once you have the lifestyle designed, it's moving on to your purpose. What is the purpose of your company? Why do you exist? What problem or pain do you serve? And on top of your purpose is, what is the ultimate thing that you are here to do? And what would the result be in the world that if you actually achieved your goal of serving that purpose to the fullest potential that you can imagine, what would change in the world? How would you know when you succeed? If you have an idea in your own mind of what that looks like and what your purpose really is, then that can really make it a lot easier on a day-to-day basis to plan out what projects you say yes to. Is it in alignment with the purpose, or is it out of alignment with the purpose? And how you market, what you sell, what you choose to create, all of those things will become clearer when you know the purpose. So in the PDF that I'm providing here are some questions that you should answer in your own business planning document. So after you're clear on your mission and purpose, it's time to write down, what are the products and services that you're selling? Like, what are you actually offering the world? What are the things that you're selling that will help you reach that outcome of desired lifestyle and desired impact in the world? And you know, I've been going through this process of business planning myself in the last week here, because I felt foggy and a little bit unclear around what am I actually trying to do? You know, I've got these different projects I'm working on, but I was very much in that and not necessarily up here taking the broader view of what I'm trying to do. And so I started to make a list of all the products and services that we have available here at Majik Media that are active streams of income. And I mean, when I looked at it, I was like, holy cow, there's a lot of good stuff here that we've been developing. We've got my meditations where I sell on my own website as well as licensing. We've got 4 different partnership projects that we're doing profit sharing because we're building memberships and courses for different clients and partners. We've got affiliate sales, coaching and consulting, full production, and the list literally just kept going, and these were active streams that we've been building over the years. And so for yourself with your products and services, make a list of like, what is it that you're actually selling that helps to reach that potential that you're going for right now, that ultimate outcome, if your mission was to be fulfilled. So after you've mapped out your products and services, you have to now map out your pricing. How much are you charging for the products and services that you're selling? Are you doing a membership subscription? Are you selling one-off services or fees, one-off products? Are you doing launches once per year and just taking in one large group of people? You need to figure that out because once you know your prices, you can start to think about, well, what is the minimal number of people you need to have in order to cover the bases for your business and your lifestyle? And you can adjust those prices accordingly as well. And you know, pricing is really about value. What is the value you're offering people? And what is the perceived value? What are they going to perceive as the value of what you're offering them? And you can start to play with those numbers, and maybe you have to do research if the pricing isn't clear. And that's why we have the community, is you can bounce some ideas around with other people that have been in the game for quite a while and try to figure out what is the sweet spot for your pricing. And obviously, if you've been on the journey with us here at Majik Media for quite a while, you'll know that it's a guess, and sometimes you change your pricing because you guessed wrong, and that's okay. Choose a number and see how that lands. And you know, with pricing comes understanding your business model. You know, with Majik Media here, we've got our membership. I do premium coaching and consulting. We do full production, and we do partnerships with people. And that's primarily what we're doing. And with my meditation, the business model is essentially selling my meditation library on my own website and then selling licensing. And licensing has been massive for me over the years to generate income easily because I'm just tapping into other networks that already exist. The pricing is going to be different depending on what industry you're in, what the value is that you're offering, and the transformation of result that's being provided, and who your market is that you're serving and how much money they actually have access to. So you got to figure out the pricing. After the pricing, you need to figure out your expenses. How much does it cost you to run your business? You know, I hear people complaining all the time about how expensive it is to, say, run a Mighty network or for Zapier or your email automation software. And if you think about what businesses pay who have a storefront, you know, they might pay $2,000, $5,000, $20,000 a month to have their storefront. And that's just like straight out of the gate. Whereas, you know, all of the software and apps and services that you might have are gonna cost you probably less than $500. That's your storefront. That's how you run your company. And those things typically help you to automate your life and make everything easier. So you need to map out your expenses. How much does it cost you at a base level to get your base salary covered, to have all of the apps and services that you need to run? And if you have a team, how much does it cost to cover everybody's wages? Get that number, write that down so that you know that that is just, you have to meet that. And then you can start to figure out, well, how many customers based on my prices that I have do I need to get to cover my bases? Because having your bases is like, that's the root chakra thing. Like, we just got to get that covered so that we can be creative. If we can have those bases covered, we can start to be more creative and get more excited about the work that we're here to do. So then with the expenses, start to think about, well, what is your ideal amount of income? How many customers do you want to have? How much income is that? And what expenses would go up? Would you have to hire somebody new? Would you have to expand your team? And start to think about like your base, your ideal of like, this would be the sweet spot number that I get to, and then your ultimate, you know, like what is your lofty goal that you're trying to get to? Are you trying to build a team of 4? Are you trying to build a team of 20? And what are the different levels that you need to reach in order to get to those different things? So the way that I do it, and you know, the way I'm showing you business plans is different than what other business coaches would do. This is just what keeps me excited and inspired to do a business plan, is playing with these ideas so I can see where I'm trying to go to and map out a bit of a path so I could recognize different milestones on the way. So for you, like having an idea of like the base, ideal, and ultimate for number of customers and expenses per month. Customers, income, expenses. And these are just guesses, obviously. Like you don't, yeah, I was doing that without even looking. That's pretty impressive. These are all just guesses, but they're just gonna help you understand milestones along the way. So as you're starting to open your mind to how much it's gonna cost you to run your business at the base, ideal, and the ultimate vision, start to think about your team. Everybody that wants to do something big in the world needs a team. You need people to help you fulfill on your vision. You need people to fill in the gaps where you're not great. If you suck at video editing, you shouldn't try and edit your videos unless you're really committed to the learning curve that's in front of you. If you really suck at designing your website, don't design your website, because you're not gonna make something that's at the level of professionalism and quality that you wanna do. And so you can find partners to essentially become stakeholders in the success of your business, or you can hire people. And I recommend finding people that you really resonate with, who resonate with your mission and your purpose. And so map out, create essentially like very short job descriptions for the different roles you want fulfilled. And maybe those people won't show up right away, but if you have those roles, you'll recognize the people and where they fit into the greater vision of your business as they start to show up into your life. And as you start to increase your income, you'll be able to go out and look for them, have those job descriptions ready. So the job descriptions can be a few sentences or bullet points, but make sure you have those, because having a team is what helps create the dream. All right, so now comes the part that most people resist, which is funny because this is the part that actually keeps you in business and helps you achieve your goals and your ideal lifestyle, but for whatever reason, it's the thing that nobody wants to do, and that's marketing and sales. How are you gonna spread the word about the things that you have to sell that are gonna create the difference in people's lives and help you to achieve your goals and your ultimate vision? And when I was looking at this, for me, I like to keep things nice and simple. So each of the products that I was mapping out the other day, I would only choose like 2 marketing and sales strategies. So for example, with Majik Media, my sales strategy is podcast and webinars. So what I do is I reach out and I'll say, hey, Tad Hargrave, which is something I'm doing. I would like to do a Mighty Networks demo and do a Q&A at the end of it. And so Tad's gonna introduce me to his audience. I'm gonna do the webinar for them. And that's probably gonna help us grow our impact and our ripple and our membership. Potentially get some more clients or contracts as well. I also have my own podcast and being a guest on other podcasts. So that's my strategy. Oh, and YouTube videos, like the one that you're watching right now. This is a part of it. I don't really enjoy social media, so I might post once a month in social media. I don't care. I don't see any benefits for me. And so these are the ways that I like to grow the audience that I'm trying to build. For some of the products that we're selling, like Survive the Storms, which is one of the partnerships, we produced it and we're in partnership with Chris Gilmore. With that one, we're doing Facebook ads, and we're getting Chris booked for podcasts and webinars. So very similar strategy. For one of the other partnerships we have, she basically just posts on YouTube, and she has a big enough YouTube following that works. For one of the other ones, it's all through the networks that they've developed. as I shared earlier with my meditations, it's all licensing. I don't do any marketing. We are going to experiment coming up here with some Facebook ad stuff, and if that ends up being successful, then we'll do some videos about what's working. But yeah, it's very, very simple. How we've built Majik Media to date has been through having a good reputation by creating high quality stuff and partnerships, just doing interviews, doing webinars, and connecting with people that feel like we're in alignment, we have synergy. And that's been the premise. But for you, think about, for each product and service that you're offering, come up with 2 strategies on how you're gonna market those things. And I recommend sticking with those things for 3 to 6 months at least, and being aware as you go on whether they're effective, because I see way too many creators spend way too much time creating memes and social media posts and images of them doing their lifestyle or doing their business, and it leads to nothing. And so you could be way more effective with your time if you were to spend that time doing posts on Facebook or Instagram, finding podcasts to be interviewed on, or doing webinars. Because honestly, for people like you and me who have small teams, we don't have all the hours in the day, so we need to be really strategic on the ways that we market and sell our products. So come up with a strategy, 2 things that you're gonna do to grow and sell each of the different products and services you're offering. 2, that's it. Not 1, 2. Now, the last part of this business planning process is about scheduling your success. Now, the reason I can fit so much into my day, that's a terrible D, is because I schedule my success. I know when I'm going golfing, I schedule free time. I've even, behind the camera here is a sauna. I work into my day where I can do a sauna and a cold plunge in my tub in the middle of the day while doing research or creative writing while I'm sitting in the sauna. Like, these are things that I schedule into my day-to-day life, and you have the authority to schedule your success. And I mean, I'm a dad, I have a kid, maybe you have kids, we need to figure it out. And the more in control of my schedule I am, the more in control of my destiny, my outcomes, the life I'm trying to create, the impact I'm trying to make in the world. And for me, like, the 6 hours a day that I work are very focused. And that's because I'm scheduling exactly what my priorities are each day. I'm scheduling in the meetings that I want to take. I have days where I'm booking meetings, so I don't have meetings every single day. Like, these are things that I'm strategic about. And so for you, think about how many hours a week you have to work on your business or the projects that you're trying to do, and schedule those in. Schedule in like 2 to 4 hour sprints where you have a very specific purpose. And if you can take control of your schedule, you're gonna get so much further ahead. And this definitely takes discipline. I know starting out as an entrepreneur, I was scattered and all over the place and I never really had a plan. Whereas if you can grab a hold of that schedule by the reins, you are going to do so much and cover so much ground. So I would say the last part of your business planning process is to really create a schedule. And I would say try and block off the next 6 to 8 weeks as an experiment if this is something you don't do. Where you have knowledge of the spaces that are available, block that stuff off so that you can really dive in. I know there's a lot of people that prefer the flowist lifestyle, and I also know those same people that prefer to be flowists struggle with actually getting shit done. And so if you want to get shit done, schedule it off and be intentional with your calendar and be ruthless with saying no to things that are out of alignment with what you're trying to get done. So that's my advice. Hopefully this has been helpful. Honestly, if you take the time to do the business planning template that I'm going to provide to you, you're going to feel so much more grounded. You're going to have a clear vision. You're going to know what you need to do next week and the week after. And as things start to show up into your inbox and requests start to come in, you're going to have a good idea of what you're charging, what you say yes to, what you say no to, and what's in alignment. And that's why doing the business plan is the #1 thing I would recommend all clients do, including you. And so if you don't have a business plan, what I've laid out here, it might take 2 pages, it might take 5 pages, whatever it is, you can probably write out a first draft of it, which is good enough to get going. in a few hours. If you just dedicate the time and whatever's in your brain, put it down. And then if you want, post it in the Majik Media community, get some feedback, or at least feel good about yourself for having done it and knowing what your plan of action is moving forward in the short term, the medium term, and the long term. Hopefully this has been helpful. If it has, let me know. And if you want any more classes like this was very spontaneous. I decided like 2 minutes before shooting this video that I was gonna shoot the video. Let me know. And if you're listening to this in the podcast, leave us a review. Thanks so much for watching and listening, and I hope this has been helpful for you. I know it has for me in doing it.